Hello, my name is Edwin Diaz, and I'm the Xtime Dealer Performance Consultant assigned to Hyundai Motors Western Region. I would like to start by thanking you for taking the time to review this short video, which I recorded in an effort to provide you with a more comprehensive and cohesive training experience around the new Xtime Scheduling 7 platform, which effectively supersedes Xtime Classic. It is worth mentioning that Xtime Classic will be discontinued at some point later this year and is no longer being updated with any new functionality. So migrating to Scheduling 7 sooner than later will not only provide you access to enhanced functionality, but new features not available in Classic. To the above, I thought it would make sense to record this short training session to introduce you to the improved functionality, enhanced workflow, and new navigation afforded to you in the new Scheduling 7. So to that point, this video will benefit anyone using Xtime Classic needing to migrate to Scheduling 7 just as much as anyone already using Scheduling 7. If you aren't automatically logged into Scheduling 7 when you log into Car Care Scheduling, click on the Click Here to Switch link at the top of the screen, noting that you can switch back to Classic by merely clicking Schedule from the pull-down located at the top left of the screen, followed by Xtime Classic. Once you log in or switch to Scheduling 7, you will be presented with a dashboard, with the first of 4 tabs providing you with the bird's eye view of the day, displayed by the hour, on the hour, starting with carryovers and morning drop-off, and ending with evening drop-offs. Scrolling down will provide you with data around different data points, most importantly, late and no-show appointments, which provides visibility to areas of opportunity around reconfirming and maybe even rescheduling what could be viewed as a missed opportunity. The second of the 4 tabs is called the Workbook, which is the equivalent of the ledger in Classic, from where you can view and access all scheduled appointments and walk-in placeholders. Important areas to note are Scheduling 7 provides 3 views consisting of day, week, and month view, which displays 3 hours at a time in day view, 3 days at a time in week view, and appointment statistics for the month view. Under the day view, we provide 4 sub-views, which provide visibility to scheduled appointments by time, advisor, teams if you have teams set up, and status. As if all of this was not enough, you will find that in addition to the sub-views, there's also a filter by view, which allows additional filtering by any combination of categories around team and advisor, make, channel, status, transportation, and lastly, other. The third of the 4 tabs is the Customers tab, which provides the means to search for a customer by phone number, name, email, VIN, license, DMS ID, or model, with the most common being phone and name. An upcoming enhancement will remove the need to select the search channel, as the application will auto-search all channels simultaneously. On a side note, the customer search can also be used to locate a scheduled appointment. The fourth of 4 tabs is the Tour tab, which provides some basic information and quick reference specific to the new Scheduling 7 platform. As you may have determined, you will probably find yourself spending a majority of your time in Scheduling 7 at the Workbook screen. So let's take a closer look at the navigation and usability aspects of the Workbook, starting with the Day View. The Day View provides you visibility through a summary on the left side of the screen to how many appointments do we have scheduled, and perhaps when are they scheduled throughout the day, giving you visibility to on the hour, which also includes the intervals, which for the most part are either 15 or 20-minute, depending upon how your dealership has them set up. You will also notice that when you're hovering over this scheduled area, it's always going to display 3 hours at a time, or at least give you the ability to schedule or select 3 hours at a time. So clicking now displays those 3 hours that you were already highlighting. Each one of these appointments is what we call an appointment card. And all you would need to do to get visibility to the actual appointment is to click on the appointment card to expand the card and view a bit more detail about the appointment. Additional to that, at the bottom right of the appointment, you'll notice that you have three icons. The first is all the appointment information, such as services selected. The center icon would be or provide visibility to customer information such as email, phone number, and such. And the third of the three icons would provide you visibility to all of the information on the customer's vehicle. Clicking on the appointment card again would minimize the appointment back down to the appointment card size. You will also notice some symbols such as D and W. Those are available through the legend. So if you click on legend at the left of the screen, you'll gain visibility to what those symbols mean within the application itself. One interesting tip that I wanted to share with you to make Scheduling 7 appear a bit more like Classic is if you click on the plus sign next to the time, what you'll notice is that it will expand that specific time to provide you more information across the screen rather than you having to click on the appointment card to visually see this information. Clicking on the minus sign at the far right will minimize the time back to the original view. Now, as I suggested earlier, you can also display all of your appointment information by advisor. So clicking on the advisor will now display all the appointments under each advisor so that now you can locate just those appointments that apply to you. Again, if you had teams set up within your dealership, teams would basically display those appointments by team rather than by advisor. And last but not least, status. Status will display the appointments by status. So, for example, who has not yet arrived, who is at the dealership, who is with an advisor, and then, of course, who's holding for approval for parts and who's been completed. Now, how do I jump to a specific date within my instance? So the easiest way to do so would be to click on this little calendar and select the date that you want for either the month, or you can go forward or reverse on the months. Now, if I had selected a different day of the month, returning back to today would be just as easy as clicking on the icon labeled back to today. Clicking on the week tab will now present you with all the appointments by day. So now, rather than showing you the day by hour, we're showing you the week by day. Again, you can see that your Tuesday is a bit more busy than your Wednesday based on the length of the line under view. That's somewhat indicating the number of appointments that you have scheduled for that day. So in the process of scheduling an appointment, you might be more apt to scheduling that appointment for Wednesday because you have less volume of appointments for that day. Now, when you select week view, you'll notice that you have 3 days at a time. Again, no different than when we had the day view in place and we were displaying 3 hours at a time. So to that point, if I highlight 3 days and click, those are the 3 days that I see in the window. Now you'll notice that under Tuesday we have more appointments than we can actually view in one glance, so we would have to scroll. You'll also notice something really important, and that's this little color. This is the color of the vehicle based on the VIN information and or perhaps the information selected under the Vehicles tab when the customer was set up. This gives you visibility to, again, a little more information than you perhaps had in Classic. So if it was right now 10 o'clock and you saw an orange Hyundai Genesis pull up, the conversation could very well be, Mr. Freitas, we were expecting you. If it happens that that's not Mr. Freitas, then we could obviously correct that by saying, well, we were expecting a orange Genesis at 10 o'clock as Mr. Freitas had an appointment. So that kind of instills the idea of scheduling appointments rather than just being a walk-in. Now, in the week view, you can switch from one week to the next by merely clicking on the symbol. No different than in day view, you could have moved from one day to the next by clicking the arrow. So I'd like to take you now to the month view. The month view is going to provide you statistics about what's happening in the month of June. Easily enough, I could go back to a previous month, or I could go forward to a new month to see what those statistics are around all of these data points. And as you can see, it'll provide you visibility to what was the percentage of no-shows as opposed to the percentage of canceled, as opposed to the percentage of customers requesting loaner, and so forth. So that can be quite beneficial to know, especially when we're giving you that breakdown for the entire month, week by week. Gives you visibility to where are the challenges and perhaps opportunities as it relates to any one of those categories. So with all that said, I'm going to return back to the day view, and now we're going to take a look and see what's involved in scheduling an appointment. So if you focus over here on the far right of your screen, you'll see the New Appointment button. If you click on New Appointment, that will pull up the search window from where we will search for the customer, again, by phone, name, email, VIN, or license, realizing that at some point soon, you won't have to make these selections. That will be done for you automatically. So we'll search by number. And in the event that you don't find the customer because perhaps the customer has never been to the dealership before, there's two ways to add that customer to Xtime, which inadvertently will add that customer to your DMS. The first and quickest way would be the Quick Add Customer button. That provides you the ability to add this customer with a bare minimum amount of information for him, realizing that anything with a red asterisk has to be entered, whereas anything without an asterisk is optional. Now, in addition to the Quick Add, you'll notice at the top right we have a New Customer button. If you click there, you will also be able to add this customer, realizing that now you can provide a bit more information or detail on that customer than just a quick add. Also noting that only those items that have a red asterisk are mandatory, with all the other fields being optional. So I'm going to return to New Appointment. And this time I'm going to enter a phone number for an actual customer. What you'll see is that we were able to retrieve the customer information for any of his vehicles. Now, likewise, if we had searched for this customer by name, we can use wildcards such as asterisk to display more than just the name that we're displaying, but anything that ends with something other than what you see here. So it's just a wildcard search. Now, you'll also notice this customer for this vehicle already has an appointment. That appointment is for that date and time, and there's the confirmation code. Now, if I was to click on this button I will open that appointment, providing me the ability to not only view all of the appointment detail, but I can also update or change or cancel that appointment. We also provide a view timeline button that provides you visibility to when was this customer in the past, what was done and how much money did he spend, and even for that matter, what is due today and perhaps what is even due into the future, so that we can not only look at his past, we can schedule his current, and we can even schedule the next appointment into the future. On the right hand side, you'll see the appointment details window. So I'm going to begin scheduling an appointment for this Genesis by clicking on Schedule Vehicle. So what you'll see is that this customer once again has 2 appointments already scheduled for this vehicle. So it may be that a member of his family already called in and scheduled the appointment, or perhaps he forgot that he had scheduled the appointment. But he has 2 different distinct dates for his appointment. If I wanted to look at either one of these, once again, click on View Appointment. In doing this, we're opening the appointment, and again, now we can either modify or even cancel the appointment. So update or cancel. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm also going to display or show you how you would identify what this vehicle is coming in for. So we'll click on Services because there were 2 added. And what you'll see here on the right-hand side is that it's coming in for battery service and replace engine oil and filter. However, if we wanted to add something else to that appointment, we would merely click the box to the left. If it's a repair item like a diagnostic, we would click on Repairs. But we must first click on Add to add that maintenance item before moving over to repairs. Otherwise, it will never show up under the services being performed for this vehicle. If I click on brake system diagnosis, for example, I can enter some detail and then again add that to the list of services. Now, what you'll see is that by clicking on that tab or line, again, collapses that category, making it a little bit easier for you to navigate through the system. Now, once we've done this, what we could do at this point is to update the appointment by clicking on Update Appointment. And now what you'll see is that it displays how much time it took us to schedule or update that appointment, and it provides us all of the detail of the appointment on that one screen. Now, to that point, 2 things that we can do at this point. One would be click on Workbook to go back to the workbook. The other would be New Appointment and perhaps even New Customer. So for the purposes here, let's go back to Workbook. And so what we're once again displaying is all the appointments scheduled for this day. Again, we can look into the future at the very next day by clicking on that arrow. There's the carryovers and extended. And we'll notice here on the left that we only have an appointment scheduled for 3 o'clock. So if I hover there and click, I will see that appointment. Again, clicking on this appointment card will expand that appointment. If I was to, at this point, click on Week View, once again, now I'm not only going to see the appointments for that specific date, but I'm going to see the appointments for the entire week. Earlier, we talked a little bit about the filter, and I really haven't covered anything with regards to the filter as of yet. So what I wanted to do is give you a little demonstration on how exactly that works. So with that said, we're going to return back to today. And at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the filter pull down. And I'm going to select only to display the web appointments. And when I click on apply, now rather than seeing all of the appointments, I'm only seeing web appointments. You'll notice here at the top that it shows that we're filtering based on web. And if I wanted to eliminate that filter from here, I would click the X, or I can click on the down arrow and click on Reset to Defaults, or I can add additional filtering. So for example, of those web appointments, how many are coming in for a specific advisor? Let's go to advisor team A. We can select Randy. And now when I click on apply, which of those web appointments were for Randy? And so that's what we're left behind with. And again, we can see or have visibility to how we're filtering right from this screen. So I'm going to click on the pull down, and I'm going to click Reset to Defaults and Apply. And once again, now I will be displaying all of the appointments. So one last tab, and that would be the Customer tab. From here, again, I can search for a customer by phone number or by name. And upon searching, I can identify what customers have that name criteria or phone number. And right from here, I can see that these customers have appointments scheduled for these dates and times. If I wanted to gain visibility to any one of these, all I have to do is click, and that will open that customer detail window, from where now I can see a snapshot of the customer and their vehicle, customer information, communications, and so forth. Again, where we're going to spend a great majority of our time is going to be under Workbook or under New Appointment. So we'll return to Workbook to gain visibility to what's on the calendar today, right now. So, with that having been said, that kind of gives you a pretty good understanding of how to use Xtime Scheduling 7. So I would like to invite you to use it as much as you can, and if you have any additional questions, please reach out to me, as I would be only too glad to assist you in any way possible. Thank you, and have a good day.